So you are a legal medical marijuana user and caregiver in the state of Maine, as I understand, correct?
Yes.
And you're on trial for basically growing medical marijuana that is legal for you to grow. Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty much.
So even if this doesn't go through, there's a good chance that you're going to win the case. I mean, you're going to get to explain why you use it, bring out your medical records. Is that correct?
Well, at this point, I am not going on trial for my growth of my plants under the law. I am very much going on trial for growing my patients' plants, whom the district attorney says my patients don't exist. I have 3 patients that assign me their growth, their growing thing. So what the deal is they're saying that the district attorney's coming in and is saying that these 3 patients don't exist, that these were illegal plants, and that I was using this to distribute to the general public.
And I want to stop you right there, because what evidence does he have that those 3 patients do not exist?
None whatsoever.
None, right?
They're calling me a liar.
So you have access to what they have for evidence. You and your lawyer. You have the means to get that evidence. And as far as you know, at this point, there is no evidence. Because those 3 patients do exist, don't they? And they are legal.
Oh, yeah, very much so. 2 of them are cancer patients. 1 of them terminal with less than a year to live. And 1 of them has wasting syndrome and gets extremely deathly nauseous if he tries to eat without smoking first.
Do you wonder why with no evidence, with knowing that you should, if there is justice in this country and they still follow the rule of law, that you're going to win this case? Does it?
Yeah, and my attorney today, I had a 3-hour scheduled 3-hour that turned into a 4.5-hour meeting with my attorney, and we laid out my whole case. He drew it out on a board with what evidence I have and what evidence they slip up and admit to in their affidavits and whatnot. It paints a very good picture of the fact that they possibly even knew that I was legal. And did they care? No, they didn't care whatsoever.
Wow.
They were there to try to prove one thing and one thing only, and that was the fact that it wasn't medical and that it was very much, a commercial grow. And, they accused me of having well over 100 plants, and I have never even had anything even close to my legal limit of 24. As a matter of fact, when they came in, the whole discrepancy is that they're claiming that seedlings, plants that aren't legally plants, seedlings, anything under... First off, let me give you the definition of a plant in Maine. The definition of a plant, a marijuana plant in Maine, is a female plant in full flower that is larger than 12 inches tall and or 12 inches in diameter. So that says that anything that's anything under 12 inches tall and or 12 inches in diameter is not a legal plant.
Correct.
It can't be considered a plant. It's what we call it's a special amount that we're allowed to have.
Yeah.
Okay, above and beyond. They don't count as plants for us.
Yep.
By their own admission, 8 of those plants, and they have pictures of them, 8 of those plants were only mere seedlings that were probably at very best 3 inches to 4 inches tall and at very best 3 inches in diameter.
You stated all of these facts about the case, and the DA and the police, I know generally when they bring cases, they don't like to lose. And this one has garnered a lot of media attention. And it's one of the first medical marijuana cases in Maine like this with the new laws that you guys have now. Why do you think that they continue to press this? Why are they continuing to go to court to try you? Why? Why don't they just drop it and just admit they were wrong?
Publicly, very publicly, in a very public manner, in the newspaper and on the television news channels, and exposed the wrongdoings of this particular district attorney and his henchmen, the sheriff's department. I exposed their wrongdoings, and I exposed the fact that they very much walk all over people's Fourth Amendment rights in doing what they do. very much made that public, and they're angered by that. So they're coming at me, all guns blaring.
And that's what I kind of see myself. I see that is probably what is happening. I'm wondering, I like to rail, and I like to protest, and I like to bring attention to things, just like you have been. But I also sometimes, especially when we're in the right and we have a powerful position, to offer an olive branch, some compromise, to say to these folks that led this raid, that continue to press these charges, it's time for them to admit that they were wrong, and let's become friends. Let's make sure that this doesn't happen to anyone else out there, that these guys set up some guidelines. Is there any chance of that?
Well, no. And the evidence is in the fact that the district attorney is still going and proceeding forward with jail time, looking for jail time. There is no amicable means of finishing this case, other than going through court and me proving him the blundering idiot that he is. And the sad thing is that it's going to cost this state thousands.
Yeah. When you win, my suggestion would to say I was right all along, these guys were wrong, and I want to meet with the DA, and I want to make sure that this doesn't happen to anyone else. And I want him,
I agree.
In a nice way. Winning is everything. If you win this, you really don't have to say much, but I would try to set up that meeting, to bring in some of the people that are the leading people in the state on this, so that it doesn't happen to anybody else. Because when they break into your house, when they come into your house, do you have animals? Do you have dogs?
I have a cat.
Yeah, you have a cat. I mean, if you had a dog, what do you think they would have done to your pet? I mean, that's my...
Oh, they probably very much would have, shot my dog. I mean,
that is that what it takes, or can we end it here? That's the question in Maine. Are they gonna?
The funny thing is I live in a mobile home that's 12 by 60. Okay, you put a lot of furniture in, and you put living stuff in, and that takes up a lot of that 12 by 60 area.
Sure.
They claim that I had well over 100 plants.
Yeah.
There's no possible way that.
What is that like?
Size of things.
That's like what, 600-700 square feet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I live in a small place in Cambridge. That's you'd have to have plants in every room.
Yeah. And not only that, but I mean, he knew he assessed the situation. He knew the size of the trailer coming in here, and they brought 9 cops with them. 9 cops.
Very interesting.
But that's a little bit bizarre.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't take 9 cops to handle one person. I mean, even if I did get out of hand, are they going to have 9 people beating up on me at once?
I hope not.
Seriously, I would drop these Fourth Amendment issues if the district attorney would come out and say that they were wrong and reimburse me for the medication that they stole from me.
And how much would
I'll
you
drop the rest of it?
How much would you value that medication that they stole from you at?
Well,
approximately.
They set my weight at 2.64 pounds, I believe it was 2.14 or 2.64 pounds total dry weight. By legally, the dispensaries in the state of Maine have come out and said that they're going to be charging between $450 to $550 an ounce for the medication. So that sets a value of my 2.64 pounds at between $450 to $550 an ounce. And this is what's happening. As a result of our meeting today, our 4.5-hour meeting today, he now has a better grasp on things, and he has a better grasp on the law, because we spoke to Jonathan Levitt, the guy that actually wrote the law, and he gave him a little more heads up in depth. He's actually going to go, he's got the information that he needs to go to the district attorney and say, here's the deal, your cops are bumbling idiots, this is what's going on, this is what I've uncovered, do you want to drop charges? It would be in your best interest to drop these charges, because we're going to win this case anyway. Thank you very much once again for posting that picture on the web back in January.